Let's get into it, man. I know you guys want to hear about it, so it's time to talk about it. The first full week of the new NFL season is officially in the books with preseason games living up to the hype and excitement for the 2025-26 season. The biggest game of the preseason was the Cleveland Browns versus the Carolina Panthers and Shedeur Sanders' debut as an NFL QB. What are your thoughts on his performance? And will Sanders be the week one starter for the Browns against Cincinnati?
I think Shedeur. Okay, so watching Shedeur, it made me double down on how I feel when you evaluate young players come in from college into the pros. What is it that they did that separated them in college, and how good can they do it in the pros? Right, everything that we knew about Shedeur in Colorado, we saw that preseason game. Right, calm under pressure. I think he moved better than what we've seen in Colorado because he took hella sacks, but he definitely moved the pocket. He manipulated the defenders, right? Like he slid to the right, let the running back pick up that free DB. Um, he was accurate. You know what I'm saying? The one thing I didn't like at the pro level that I didn't necessarily see it being so, at least is blaring from me, is his throwing motion feels a little elongated. You know, it takes a little long to get the ball out, but he throws a pretty ball and he's very accurate. You know what I'm saying? So that's all of the things that we talked about with him at Colorado. It's just transferring now to the NFL. Now, do I think he's going to be a world beater? I don't know because he's limited physically. So he has to be, if he's going to be a good to great starting QB in the league, it has to be mental. It has to be shoulders up. It's not gonna beat you with your legs like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen or something like that. He's not gonna throw 85-yard bombs. You know, say he doesn't have that. But can he beat you? Can you win with Shedeur? I believe so, and I think that that's what you saw. He just has to. He needs more time, more seasoning to grow. But what we saw is that he belongs. We saw that he doesn't look like a fifth round pick. That's what we saw. Where you want to put him in the hierarchy of young quarterback in the league now, that's up for debate. I just know he don't look like a fifth round pick. All I know is that from what I've seen in training camp, him versus Dylan Gabriel, he's been looked like this. You know what I'm saying? And for people talking about this, that, and the third, he didn't have number ones on his squad, but he went against the number one defense. And I understand this preseason is Manila. They're not throwing nothing exotic out there. Everything's very base. But at the end of the day, he showed you why he should have been a first round pick. He's cool, calm, collected, throws a good ball. He's aware. His awareness is high for a rookie. So I like what I saw. Is he going to be week one starter? No. I've been said Joe Flacco. That's the reason why they brought Joe Flacco back. He's gonna be the week one starter. But like Nick said with Jackson Dart, 4, 5, 6, 7 around that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to make a move because this team is not going to be good. Joe Flacco, we know what he is. He's pedestrian at best. And you need to know what you got with Shedeur with 2 first round picks in next year's draft. Do we need to go get a quarterback or do we got a guy and now we need to get him weapons and protection? That's what they need to figure out.
This performance, what I saw in the performance was definitely good. He played well that we know of, but even more so than his performance, what I take from watching Shedeur is his interaction with his teammates. That tells you a lot about what he brings to the table for this team. You could tell they like him. They talk to him like he's one of them. They speak of him highly all the time. You see him and Myles Garrett like together all the time. You see Njoku talking to him and they got the other teammates too. And I'm not saying they don't talk to him. I'm just saying you see a special relationship between him and the others. He made a couple impressive throws. I'm talking about some veteran throws in that game. Yeah, of course he got stuff to work on. Of course it was preseason, but we saw him do some things and make some things happen with his arm that, quite frankly, some people might have questioned. So I give him a lot of props on that. And his preparation was there. You could see that he put the time and effort into it. And you could see that he has improved and grown in the time of him graduating college and to this point. But we know what what he is. But for Cleveland, the thing that they need to look at more than anything else is the numbers that he brought to the table. That preseason game had the number one program on cable and broadcast TV. That's huge. So who else watching the Cleveland Brown preseason game at any point? You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it from a business standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world to keep him around. I think he will get some starts this year, but I like FIFO said, I think Flacco is going to start the season.
I don't think he's going to start week 1 to answer the question. No, I think that's going to be Kenny Pickett. I think they're trying to pump him up, and the Browns think that that's their quarterback. But that goes to a couple of Shelton's points. This is a shitty organization. A better organization, if he played somewhere else, Shedeur Sanders, that is, he would be starting week 1. They would have cultivated his talent. They would be focusing on him, and he would be out there week 1 because he's proven through his college tape, through his offseason workout, and even his first preseason game that he can play NFL quarterback. Now, I don't know if he's Jared Goff or if he's something like my most comparable quarterback that I see is Jared Goff, who's been in great situations, but he just happened to have blonde hair and blue eyes. So they gave him more benefit of the doubt. Shedeur Sanders don't have that. And he got a lot of ego that come with him. So people ain't willing to give him a chance. The Browns are not invested in him at all. They're a shitty organization. They're going to give Pickett a chance first. They're going to give Flacco a chance after Pickett sucks. And then they're going to give Shedeur a chance because they want to save Dylan Gabriel and put him in at the end of the season when he's had more time to develop. Shedeur is in a terrible opportunity, and it's going to affect his career. I hope he gets to go somewhere that isn't as a shitty organization as the Browns. It may be like Baker Mayfield, like Jared Goff. We will get to see him flourish into a quarterback that can start and win games in the NFL, but it's not going to happen in Cleveland ever because they don't believe it.
You want to go, Ken, or you want me to?
No, you got it, man.
Let me answer that question real quick. So y'all know preseason definitely matters. I don't know if you pay attention to football, but there's several players who make a name for themselves in the preseason. Zach Bond made a name for himself in the preseason, which means they moved on from Devin White because of preseason. Preseason definitely matters. They're paying attention to all that. Every one of those games are going back and they study tape, they watch film, but it does matter.
It definitely matters for a player like Shedeur as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All that matters.
Who doesn't have the support of the coaching staff or ownership. It matters because it shows he's going out there and battling through the bullshit situation that he's put in. Absolutely matters.
I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
Nah, I think first and foremost, I think we've all said this to a certain degree that Shedeur is not a trash, shitty quarterback. Now, after that is where we all differ as far as like what level of talent are we dealing with him. I think what we saw in the preseason game, I'm only taking with a grain of salt because, like y'all said, I mean, one, they played Carolina, so they played literally one of the worst teams in the NFL. So their ones is somebody's twos. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's that. But what Shedeur did show, like people said, pocket presence. He wasn't really scared. The moment wasn't too big. I mean, he's been playing under bright lights. You could argue since damn near high school because of the dad, but he did show that. I mean, he's not a ready-made. He's still got a lot of things to do. But I think that what the most important thing for him is not even worrying about starting or being on the Browns, period. This is a showcase for the NFL. Like, again, I think some people said in the chat, like, I see him going to LA with the Rams. Like, I think we'll get to the conversation, but Sean McVay is in a sticky situation with his quarterback room. So I think Shedeur is like, if it don't work out here and he gets cut, because most fifth-round picks sometimes don't even make the team, even if they did get drafted. So I'm more so looking forward to seeing how long he can last in the NFL after these reps and these tryouts. I don't know if you're asking me personally, should he start for the Browns eventually? But like I said in the chat to y'all earlier this week, he's the cream of the crap when it comes to their QB. There's nothing good about that QB room where you would say Shedeur shouldn't start over this guy. Like, he should be a bona fide starter. But as you heard from the owner and other people, like, they don't really fuck with him. As much as Sheldon, you talking about Myles Garrett and Njoku, they ain't writing checks. They cashing them.
That's true.
So they have no sway in the room at all. So to me, I think a lot of us are overhyping this preseason game, but at the end of the day, he's making the most of his opportunities, and that's all you can ask.
Was anyone surprised by the performance?
I
Nope.
wasn't.
Not really. No.
Then what's the big deal?
It
'Cause
shows
I'm with Nick.
resilience.
I think I'm with Nick. It's getting a lot of hype. Did
it
anybody
shows-
believe he really was a 5th round pick? We all, I think, suspected that he should have been drafted before then, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I don't get it. It's a preseason game. I thought it was funny when Nick had Jackson Dart, on his list, and everybody laughed. They laughed at the performance of Jackson Dart, but yet we're praising what Shedeur did. It's the same fucking thing. We're overhyping both, or we're getting caught up in the excitement of both. Same thing with Tanner McKee and everybody else. I think for what he did, it didn't surprise me. People asked me when we last week, he said, how do you think Shedeur is going to do? I said, I think he's going to do fine. I think he's going to do good. He did what I expected him to do, especially against that level of talent. I think for him is what happens, with the rest of the quarterbacks on that roster, and how does he get out of the situation that he's in? But if Shedeur can't play well against backups, then he shouldn't even be in the game. He shouldn't even be in the league, and then that'll take care of itself. I think to your point, Shelton, about the roster, the players. I put that in the chat a while back, and I thought it was really interesting how all of the players, like specifically the black players, really mess with Shedeur. Is that because Shedeur is a good leader? Is that because, he's probably a really likable guy, but also you got to keep in mind, a lot of people have been following this guy for a whole year. People were going to Colorado. They're going to naturally like him because of fucking Deion Sanders. And he probably has Deion Sanders' career. And they probably really, really want him to win. And I think that's what you see a lot of. It's like black people, black community really want him to win because they think in some kind of way, a rich black kid that grew up with everything is sticking it to the man, So
the man acted like he was sticking it to him, though. Like they the ones that collectively passed on him into the 5th round. Like, you're right about the rich suburban black kid with rich dad. I get the Huxtable lifestyle in the sense of, it wasn't a struggle really. He's been groomed to be a quarterback in the NFL since day one, but we still seen, even with that background, them treat him like, nah, you still a nigga. And that's where people are collectively rallying around him. Like, that's where you get that love for him. It goes to what you said, Ken. It's a story. It's great. People have been following him for the last 2 years. All the rappers went to Colorado. But still, the NFL tried to treat him like, oh, you just a nigga.
But they do that to every black QB.
Do they?
There's a little difference. In the reason why I say that is because I think they were trying to stick it to his dad. And I do feel like a lot of those reports that were put out early turns out, well, they don't turn out because we still don't really know. But a lot of people rebutted all that stuff that was said early that people took as fact. And it was when they were saying like how he went to those interviews and all that kind of stuff like that, the way he performed in interviews and the way he showed up. Even you saw it recently. You saw it this week when they said, he showed up with an entourage. It was his teammates. The report was he had an entourage. He was playing his music when he went into the stadium, and it was his teammates that he was with.
He has a reputation. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say he has a reputation that leads into that too, because even, I don't know if you've seen the other report when they were talking about him, quote, confronting that local Cleveland reporter who always talking bad about him. And he wasn't even, it wasn't a confrontation. All he said to him was like, what I got to do, bro? Like, you always burying me, saying that I'm this, that, and the third.
Right.
He went up to him very friendly, very
looking
open
for Whitey's
with
approval,
a lot
huh?
of person. Nah, he wasn't looking for Whitey's approval, Ken. All he was saying was like, bro, dang, what do I got to do for you to be like, oh, okay, yeah, he is good? Because all you do is shit on me. He didn't approach him aggressively at all. But then the headline said, Shedeur Sanders confronts reporter about his reporting of him. And that ain't what happened.
No, you know what else is funny?
It was a confrontation, Lou.
What else is funny? But you're right.
By definition, he confronted him about.
Come on, bro.
Ken,
when you say okay, Y'all are doing the same thing that the reporters are doing. You right. They using that word
Lou,
because technically it's right,
Lou.
but that's not a confrontation. When you or me
We laughing at that no
or
confrontation.
Shelton hear confrontation, you thinking throwing hands.
No,
Like,
it's not.
you thinking
That's
aggressive.
different. No, that's different. And I'll be stupid on his part if he did that. My thing is this is like,
But that's how it was reported.
Bro, beat report. We've talked about beat reporters are not for the weak-hearted. Like, beat reporters talk shit about their team. This ain't the national media where everybody, tries to be respectful to a certain degree. Like, if you follow beat reporters, if you read The Athletic, or if you follow just local sports, especially in certain sports towns like Cleveland, they talk. Look what they did to LeBron.
But
Like,
see,
you know what I'm saying?
Nick,
Like,
Nick,
You sound
Nick, the
crazy right
difference,
now
the difference
because-
in this is his own co-hosts have called him out on. If you look up,
Thank you.
look, I can't remember his name, Rizzo, I think it is. But if you look him up, his own co-hosts have been done with him on his Shedeur report, and he been hating on Shedeur so bad. And I'm not defending Shedeur on that.
I'm not.
It's been bad, Nick.
I'm not
it's been
excusing,
bad.
I'm not excusing it,
Nick,
but I'm not surprised. That's
Yeah,
what
it's been
reporters.
bad.
I don't look for love from beat reporters. And if you're not
Nick,
winning, beat reporters getting your ass.
Nick,
Nah.
you, myself, Ken, FIFO, Sheldon, we all across multiple platforms, and we say a lot of crazy things. If we came back collectively behind the scenes, we're like, man, I had a confrontation the other night. You wouldn't think that it was what Shedeur had with that dude.
Yeah.
When we say confrontation, you think, somebody came up to you talking crazy. He wasn't talking crazy to him. That's not a confrontation.
Nah. And they were laughing. They were laughing. They told a joke to each other. He just was saying, "Come on, man." Like,
what I gotta do? What?
Yeah.
Like, dang.
It was more conversation.
Sound like
Nick, if someone,
me, Lou, but
man, if someone came up to Nick, real quick, if someone came up to Nick outside because they heard some, if someone came up to Nick outside because they heard some crazy he said on the podcast like that, Nick wouldn't consider that a confrontation.
It depends. Depends on who confronted me. If it's a football player, hey, look. Hey,
that's a confrontation.
Hey, somebody,
Nick gonna call the police.
It ain't who it is. It's the
Hey.
tone of the conversation, not who it is. Like, he came up to you friendly.
But my
he
thing,
have like fisticuffs ready.
But my
Call
thing
the
is this
police
is
on him.
like at this point he's in the NFL, right? He's one of the chosen few who are privileged to play at this level on this league. That's anybody who plays in the NFL. It's a privilege. All he has to do is ball out. If he continues to ball out, no matter what people are saying, he's going to get a job. Because we've seen players who've done a lot of worse shit personally, from their personality to off the field, that if they can still ball, there's a roster spot. So my thing on him is he just got to continue to play well for the Cleveland standard, and he'll be all right.
Yeah, but y'all are right about the preseason. Preseason, the difference in preseason and regular season is you're not scheming for a particular offense. You're running your plays to see what it looks like on the field and how it translates. So, and the players will tell you that that's what preseason is based on. So they're not scheming to stop Shedeur. That ain't the plan. The plan is, let me see what happens when you're set in this position. Sometimes things are going to go wrong. Let's see your reaction.
Yeah,
and at the same time, I don't know if everybody thought he'd be successful. You saw him. If you've been paying attention to their training camp, you saw him working with the fours. Sometimes they would have him throwing routes to trainers and coaches and people like that, as opposed to his teammates.
Who cares?
So,
why do we like? I don't care about that.
The reason why
that's not going that, bro.
But the reason why
getting an opportunity. That's all he asked of him.
He is, Nick, but the reason why it matters, and that's why what I'm saying, the only reason I'm saying it is because a lot of people said he wasn't set up to fail. That kind of is because timing is everything. If I'm gonna be out there playing with you, we got to get some work in together. These guys take that serious. So timing is everything.
I get that, but if the one thing he showed in that preseason game is that he's accurate. Yeah, that one of the touchdowns he had when he threw it in between two defenders, like that's something that not a lot of QBs I would say coming out of college can make. Right. So he's showing and tell. But like, listen, if he had as much supporters that people thought I thought he was gonna get drafted by the Raiders because him and Tom Brady supposed to be buddy. Once they passed on him 5 times over, I knew that all that shit was bullshit, and people are just looking at him based off of the fact of, is he talented enough in my eyes to draft to help my team move forward to win championships.
You're still talking about talent, Nick. If you believe it's about talent, then I told you.
I'm saying, Shelton, he's we're going off of talent. You're going off the full bundle package of who he is as a quarterback. I'm just going off of the ceiling versus the floor. He has a high floor. I don't know how high that ceiling is. I keep on saying he's Geno Smith, and you keep on telling me that's an insult. I'm like, well, first of all, what the fuck did he do in college that was better than Geno Smith? And second of all, Geno Smith has made a
whole bunch of records.
So if he's Geno, then what's Jackson Dart?
He's made a huge turnaround. Geno Smith, that is a huge turnaround for his career to where he's living up to the second round pick that he was. So my thing is with Shedeur is that, again, as long as he continues to play well and be as accurate as he can be, he will be fine. Regardless if he's with the 3s, the 4s, the 5s, whatever it is, he will be fine because teams will look at that like the Rams, who are in a desperate QB situation, and say, if Cleveland don't want him, I'll take him.
Hey, Nick.
Go
hold on, Sheldon. Hey, Nick, if Joey B was throwing to the 3s because everybody else was hurt and he ain't look as good with him, like, would like, and he didn't win. He's Joey B. He's Joey B. So, and he doesn't win. Does it matter that he's throwing to the 2s and the 3s?
And I would say, Doc, if I had wheels attached to my feet, does that
you
make
ain't
me
answer
a
my
must?
question? No.
Does that make me a must?
You didn't answer my question.
No,
you did not answer my question because it does matter. No, my point to you is it does matter. Like
no, it does because
you're
the comparison is illogical because you're talking about literally the first overall pick versus a 5th round pick.
I'm saying any quarterback
between what the fuck we talking about as far as
any quarterback. We talk about Patrick Mahomes throwing to these wide receivers who aren't good enough. Like, so imagine he can't illustrate how great he is if he doesn't have the talent to go with it. Like, it does matter. If I'm playing with the 4s, and even if I am a backup, if I'm playing with the 4s, it still doesn't match my level of talent. Like, that matters. And I can't even practice with these niggas, and they're not even as good as me. That does matter, bro. Like, you can't act like I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but it matters to a certain extent. So that's why when you say who cares, it does fucking, especially as a quarterback.
You got him.
Y'all making it sound like a lot of excuses to me, and I'm just like,
ain't no excuses.
Ain't no excuses.
I thought you and Ken doing this thing. Y'all doing this thing. Wait, y'all, Ken.
My question is how well.
Not
how well did he play? How well did he perform throwing to the 3s, 4s, and janitors?
Fantastic. Imagine if he was.
Then what the fuck? Then what does it fucking matter?
Imagine if he was.
The reason why, like I said, the reason why I brought it up though is we talked about being prepared and preparing him to fail. If he's not being set up to be successful, then it does matter. But at the same time, if he overcomes that, that should matter too. But I don't look at Tom Brady not drafting him as nothing else but what I said it was in the beginning. I still feel the same way. It was collusion. You can't go against the program.
I swear, this guy was white and his name was Steven.
But he
got drafted in the first round, and we wouldn't have talked about it.
Y'all would have got drafted.
He would be Eli Manning if he was white.
I'm saying
he was white. He would be Eli Manning.
No,
you guys would be saying Arch Manning is.
You guys would dismiss. You guys would dismiss the records. You guys would dismiss a lot of things because you guys have historically done that because they're white. It has happened before.
He would have been what they're saying Arch Manning is.
He would be Eli Manning. Exactly. Thank you, Sheldon.
I'm not.
Eli Manning was average in college.
Arch ain't done nothing.
Average in college.
Me personally, I'm not speaking as far as saying like he's the next best thing. I think there is merit to me. He has a certain stigma because he is Deion's son. Like, Deion has always been a nigga like, I'm going to do what I want, when I want, how I want. And Shedeur has that kind of charisma too, and they don't really fuck with that. It's not just a black I'm not going with the just all black quarterback thing. It's more of a let's put this nigga in check. Like, it's not a black thing. Because Cam was number 1, so I'm not sitting here and acting like, oh, there was like no black quarterbacks. It's specifically because he is Deion Sanders' son that people are looking at him like he feels entitled. He feels too big, and it's just confidence, bro. It really is just confidence, and they're knocking him down a peg, like because of that. Like Joey B shows confidence. Joey B shows confidence, but it's modest. Like it's modest to them. Like the same way. Like
that's the guy.
Why are y'all talking about intangible shit when we're talking? Me and Ken are talking facts. Joey B in college demonstrated confidence by winning a national title and breaking hella records. Probably arguably the greatest college
But
football
Joey
team
B,
ever.
Okay.
So,
But Joey B also went to his.
You said a lot of goofy shit. You said a lot of goofy shit because you keep bringing up Joey B for some reason. There is no comp for any of these quarterbacks y'all talking about to Shedeur because he did not have a college career worth talking about. If we're keeping it honest,
and Eli Manning did.
Travis Hunter did.
Eli Manning had a career.
But Shedeur
Eli
Sanders
Manning
did not
had
have
a career worth
no
talking
one's
about.
going to look back and say, "Hey,
Shedeur Sanders was 8th in the Heisman voting.
You know what Shedeur did in Colorado, boy? What
he was 8th in the Heisman
He won
voting.
about 12 games in 2 years, if that.
Bro, what school did Justin Herbert go to? Like where in the hell did Josh Allen go?
Hey,
You talking about acting like, but you acting
Because
like that point you just made about college and what they did in college. Man, what did Josh Allen do in college? What did none of these people, like a lot of these dudes that are good in the NFL, didn't do shit in college.
Wait.
Shedeur Sanders had a lot better of a career than a lot of the people who were drafted very high in college. So don't tell me his college career wasn't shit when he took a team that won 0 games and moved them up to 3 games and then moved them up to 8 games in 2 years of being.
Spike, hold on, Spike. Wait, forget about the wins. Shedeur won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. He also was named Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year and earned first team All Big 12 honors, and won the Jerry Rice Award and the Deacon Jones Trophy during his time at Jackson State. So what is you talking about? He didn't have a good college career when he won multiple awards and was all conference first team. So that's just average. So everybody just get that.
But even with that, FIFO, like you could, I just hate the way that it's being shaped. Like, because you could say Patrick Mahomes was playing at Texas Tech, bro, and we still didn't really. He was not on a lot of people's radar. Like, so that comparison, I'm saying how he was treated. Like, it's just being honest.
So this is what I'm saying.
Is this confidence broken though? Did they break him?
No, my thing is this.
It didn't work.
Y'all keep bringing up these names. I'm trying to just focus on Shedeur. If y'all keep on bringing up these names, people are going to compare him to those players.
That's not true.
I'm not trying to do that because I want to judge Shedeur based off what Shedeur does. I don't want to have him in the shadow of what we think he should be or whatever. I thought we already moved past the draft and all that stuff. Once you in the league, you in the league. No matter which draft pick you get. Russell Wilson was a 3rd round pick. Dak Prescott was a 4th round pick. Eventually, if you that talented, you will be a starter. So that's where we're on right now. So I don't give a fuck about what's going on. I don't give a fuck about what's going on right now. He is getting the opportunity to play meaningful football minutes because he got to play more than he got.
So Nick, based off what you're saying, why don't you think he's going to be there in Colorado? I mean, Cleveland then?
Because I think Cleveland Browns is a shit show. I think the Browns organization is trash.
If he went to a better
my point though, Lou, is if Nick's saying it's about football and they can see, they seen it. Why wouldn't they keep him? You know, it's about
organizations can't help but be shitty.
Yeah,
but they gave Deshaun Watson.
Shelton, look what they did.
They gave him. That's the worst ran franchise in the league. The Browns are the worst.
But you know,
this is the worst possible situation. Yeah, it is exactly. This is the worst possible situation that he could be in. Because to Doc's point earlier, you have a quarterback on your roster that is clearly better than every other quarterback on the roster, but you got him throwing to the ball boy. It doesn't make sense.
Honestly,
you have the owner. You have the owner coming out. You have the owner coming out and being like, "Oh, I didn't draft him. I don't know, like why he here." Like this is a shit show in Cleveland. And even though Nick, you say all you got to do is go out and play football and be good, that's not true because it's Cleveland.
No, I'm saying he's showcasing his talents for other teams. I don't think if I'm Shedeur, don't worry about Cleveland. Do your best because another team will pick you up.
Yeah, if he gets cut, somebody will get him.
Somebody's gonna pick him up.
True.
So we're discussing whether Shedeur is like worthy of this selection.
I don't know what
they making excuses.
I'll tell you, Q. Nick and Ken are trying to act like Shedeur Sanders is given a fair chance because he's in the NFL. Nigga, you lucky you here. And now we're praising him, even though through all the stuff that they putting him through, 5th round pick, whatever it may be, they saying, "Oh, just go out and play football." when he's not being given a fair chance, and he's still balling. He still went out and did what he did in the preseason game, throwing to the fourth stringers and the trainers in practice.
He said ball.
And they're saying that don't matter.
Balling is
I think that Shedeur showcased him. Shedeur was showcased at Colorado for 2 seasons as being a good quarterback. I don't think that he's bad. I don't think that he's amazing. I think that he deserves a chance. The issue comes down to 2 takes for me is that, number one, I don't care really about preseason that much to put that much stock into it. And I also recognize that the Cleveland Browns are a terrible ran organization. So it's hard for me to, even if Shedeur comes out and looks like Tom Brady, it's hard for me to take that into account because you know that other teams don't take Cleveland seriously, and you know that Cleveland don't take themselves seriously. So he could come out and play bad. I would feel the exact same way. It's just one of those things where this is kind of a wash situation, and all that I think Nick and Ken are saying is that you got to come out and put the best tape up because, to Nick's point, your situation is not going to be in Cleveland. You have to – he's on a Baker Mayfield path where you got to go to get some QB training from Sean McVay for a couple games at the end of the season after you get cut from this team inevitably, because we all know this is where this is heading. I hope not. But once you get those games in with the QB guru, somebody will pick you up next season. Hopefully it's a Tampa situation for you. And I feel like that's what you want if you're Shedeur Sanders, because the Browns don't do right by quarterbacks. And the stench of Dion, he needs to get that as far away from him as possible. He needs to separate himself, and his team hopefully is listening to people that are giving him the advice of your branding should not be about being a Sanders boy. You should be Shedeur. Like, we should be talking about Shedeur the same way that Jalen Brunson has completely removed himself from Rick Brunson's legacy. It's now Jalen. Jalen's that guy. So the same has to be done for him, but this destination is not going to end with him in Cleveland, God willing, because if it does, it'd be another body on the QB list for Cleveland.
And you know what? That's a good point, Q. And I'm glad you said that, because it doesn't need to be repeated that Cleveland is terrible. And if he stays in Cleveland and he plays terrible, it's going to be a referendum on Shedeur. We've seen quarterbacks play terrible when teams don't build around them, and they get the blame for them. So if anything, you guys will really want Shedeur to go to an organization that will give him what he needs to support him so he can perform and utilize the talents that everybody believes that he has. But if he stays in Cleveland and they play like shit and he plays like shit, it's going to really amplify a lot of the things that have been said about him.
But I think the same thing that y'all are saying can be used for him, can be used against him. And that's kind of like the point. Like, if like the same teams who overlooked, like who didn't want him, like, and I'm not saying they didn't have reasons for not, but I think if your idea is like, I don't want Shedeur because of everything that comes with Shedeur and because of Deion Sanders, like him playing great isn't going, like him playing decent isn't going to change it. If you're like, well, he was playing like he's coming from the Brown system, I can't trust it. Like, we make it seem like Baker didn't bounce around first before he ended up somewhere, and he just finally ended up in a system that Tom Brady cultivated before he got there. Like I mean, people always talk about when you get drafted. It's not about when you get drafted; it's where you get drafted. So this could backpedal, like send him back steps, as well as like, yeah. So it's not a guarantee that, oh, this is like he'll get cut and that won't impact him. Like, you don't know, but they're not even giving him enough tools right now to even see like, oh, let him be competitive. Like that's what we're saying. I don't feel like he's getting all the like he's getting a fair shot of being competitive.
It's it's a very fine line, because what the territory you're leaning into, which is something that we have to get out of the binaric understanding of a QB has a lot of talent, so he's not good, and a QB has no talent, so what is he supposed to do? We have to get out of those binaries, and we have to look at it as, does Shedeur have the base skills to be a good quarterback? And what you've seen, where most of what you see in the middle of the pack, in terms of when you have okay receivers, to great receivers, what is the median play that you see? And I think that when you have a Travis Hunter that we all, for all intents and purposes, we all believe to be could potentially generational on one side of the ball, we don't know. But he was able to get those awards that people was talking about. So the median is that he's at least a remarkable enough player to give him awards. And yes, that could be some branding, that could be the Sanders name as well, and some PR and shit. But that doesn't matter to me, because when I look at the tape, and when you look at what people like Tom Brady and what actual quarterbacks say, they said that he has the base skills to do what he's doing. And my issue is that if we're gonna keep him in Cleveland and we tell him that, yo, you have all these weapons and whatnot around you, and we're telling Cleveland to staff the skills positions with a bunch of guys, all they're going to do is use that against him the same way that they're using it against certain quarterbacks that wear green, and be like, it's not really what you're doing, it's just what the team has done for you. So really, all Shedeur has to do in this situation, if I'm his team, I'm telling him, all you need to do is make certain guys better. You have to make certain people better, and you have to have the skills positions that are notable, like the Njokus of the world and whoever else the wide receiver talent is, the marquee guys. You have to keep them on track for their numbers last year or better, because there's going to be a front office that looks at that and says, I'll take him in my quarterback room.
But he's not even. But he's not even playing with them. That's the point that we're saying. Like, he's not even playing with them to keep them on, to even see if he's on that level with them. He's playing with the 3s and the 4s. So, like, you're asking him to do something that they won't even allow him to do, especially when Flacco isn't playing and the two in front of him on the depth chart are hurt. Like, even after this game, he's still number 4 on the depth chart. Like, I get it. A part of me is like, well, bro, these two are hurt. Like, why is he still? They didn't even show anything. Like, and the reports out of training camp is that Gabriel he's lost confidence. So if training camp telling me one thing, he hasn't even played in the game, and I just seen Shedeur, why is he still number 4? Like, that logic doesn't line up to me. Now, maybe it's something I don't know, but everything that's been given to me is like, well, none of this is making sense.
Well, I think that they're giving it to Flacco because he had major success with that team and taking them to the playoffs.
Flacco, though. They won.
I'm not talking about Flacco. I'm just saying being number 2. He's not even number 2. He's number 4.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett, they won. They going into the season with Kenny Pickett starting.
I mean, but the thing is, though, is that, all right, Pickett is, to me, not a defensible pick unless you're looking at some Eagles tape from the last 3 games that he played. But it's like you ain't got no A.J. Browns or Devontae Smiths out there. The issue is, for me, is that I can make a case that he could be 3. Like, 3 is not insane. He could be 1, but if you're an old racist white dude that's running the Cleveland Browns, and you're telling me that I'm gonna put him over my draft pick that I really wanted, and then Flacco, I'm not dignifying that conversation. Flacco talking.
And then that goes to the point.
That's our point.
I understand.
That's the point.
I get that.
That's the whole point.
I get that.
Yeah. And it can be it like I said, it can honestly.
You had to say nothing, Sheldon. It was a mic drop.
Yeah,
We done.
That was it.
That mic drop.
Oh, I didn't even hear what he said, but it's fun.
That was a mic drop.
What was it? I don't even know if I want to go back and hear what he said, because it don't matter, because I probably would disagree anyway.
Yeah.
But nevertheless,
let's talk about some starters, Ken.
Right.
And I wasn't trying to cut you off, Sheldon. I was just saying.
No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
he did. Yeah, he did. Look. Hey, Sheldon, you almost had to have a confrontation with
Yeah.
No, I wasn't meaning it in that way against him. I was meaning it
I
against
get
you
it.
and King.
I
Y'all
get it. I get it.
Nah, I'm trying to move the show on. I still think as much ado about nothing, but whatever. It's not like he's still gonna be legendary if he gets cut and never play a game in the NFL, pointing at his watch.
King had to do it. He
you
couldn't
don't
let
know
it go.
what time it is for
He
real.
couldn't let it go. He couldn't let it go. He had to get it in. He couldn't move on. I'm trying to move the show along, but let me continue this shit on him.
Shout out to 12 Kyle. He's in the podcast, working overtime, kid. You know what I'm saying? Not just as
I know, right?
host, but as a bail bondsman for
Oh man, what up, 12 Kyle? Man, y'all make sure y'all check him out. Check out the podcast, 12 Kyle
Yes,
podcast.
sir.
All right, man. We're gonna that segment. Every time, man, we talk about Shedeur, man. It gets extended. We go a couple of rounds, Nick. We go about 5 rounds when it comes to talking about Shedeur. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it takes so long to get through a Shedeur segment. But let's